Coming up on MCTV, we take a look at the Fox Classics lecture and a recap a first aid class. MCTV starts now. Welcome to MCTV. For Tate Heupel, I'm Denzel Johnson. What does Alexander the Great and Vladimir Putin have in common? This year's annual Fox Classics lecture tried to answer that question. Retired classics professor Tom Sinkowitz discussed how you can see imagery of the mythical figure of Hercules in political imagery from Alexander the Great, donning a lion's skin as Hercules did to Vladimir Putin, cutting off the dragon's head, symbolizing America. Sinkowitz drew the connection of all these political figures, trying to show the strength through the connection to Hercules' strength. Also, how political cartoonists have used Hercules' imagery of cutting off the Hydra's head, which grows more heads, as commentary.
Obama's dealings with bin Laden are problematic then. Cutting off the terrorist's head will only produce two more. Thus, the cartoonist Davy uses the many-headed Hydra to emphasize the difficult, if not impossible, challenge of defeating Al-Qaeda.
The annual Fox lecture is named after Bernice L. Fox, a longtime classics professor. If someone was injured or hurt, would you know what to do? Mama recently offered a class to help you find out. On Wednesday the 13th, Director of Campus Safety, Andy Davis, talked about proper CPR techniques and how to use an automated external defibrillator, or an AED. After some basic instruction, chemistry lab manager Stephen Destine demonstrated the CPR techniques and proper.
Like to fill every class up if we can, and then also with our Narcan class or any programming that we do, we just like everybody to be aware of it and know that it's open to anybody that wants to take it.
There are 6 AED distributed across campus, including the Huff Athletic Center. For more information about further training activities and events, contact Andy Davis or Campus Safety. Taking a look at events on campus this week. This evening, a Great Decisions lecture by Mike Nelson at 7:30 in CSB Boardroom 276. And Friday, students start spring break after fall semester finals.
Later in sports, we sit down with women's basketball team to discuss the conference preview.
Welcome back to the Inside Scoop. I'm Denzel Johnson, and currently I have in the studio with me Sarah Henderson, a reference librarian in the Hughes Library. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
It's my pleasure. So one of my questions that I have for you is what do reference librarians do?
Reference librarians are at the library to help students. That is our primary responsibility. And the main responsibility, of course, is helping you with your research, whether it's trying to decide some keywords or develop your search terms, finesse your topic, using resources in terms of searching databases, reference resources, locating books, trying to help make research easier and more fun for you as a student.
Absolutely, absolutely. So why is it important for students to know who you are?
I believe it's important for students to know who the librarians are because, as I said, our primary purpose is to help you as a student. And we cover the gamut from providing research information and assistance, helping with a citation for a paper, locating a book. Sometimes we're just that place where it's nice and quiet to study or meet with your friends. We try and provide a wide variety of services for our students.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then now in the digital age where, information is so accessible, through phones and laptops and Google and the internet, but why is it still important to have a library?
I think it's important to have a library because it still comes down to access. Although it's easier to find information in some respects, you still run into things like paywalls where publishers want you to pay for the article, accessibility in terms of people don't have the same resources available at home that the library has. And so we provide the things that people can't find, whether it's articles from a database, books that they can't afford to purchase on their own, finding information about a particular author that they enjoy. We're helping students become lifelong learners.
Okay, so what are some creative ways that the library can support its students?
One of the things that we do that I think is the most fun is our collaboration with students. We try and work with student groups on a variety of projects, whether it's Duo Days, a project that we did with Pi Phi and Kappa, where they did a readathon at the library. Currently, Raices has a display at the library, and we try and provide educational material by collaborating with student groups. And I would say that's probably our most favorite thing, because one of the things that we want students to do is tell us what they want in the library, and the more actively they participate in the library, the more we learn from our students and try and change those services to accommodate those requests.
Absolutely, absolutely. Are there any services that the library has that maybe you want to shine some light on for students to take advantage of in their work?
Well, of course, I'm always going to say the reference librarians first and foremost, because we're there to help the students, as I always say. But there are some changes coming down the pike for the library in terms of there's going to be some changes on the floor plans. We're going to be working on the lower level to open some space up to create more study opportunities for students, whether that's group or individual study spaces. We're also going to see student services coming down and being located in the library at some point. But we're working to make some changes to make it a more active and dynamic spot for our students to be.
Absolutely, that's really exciting. And talking about the construction coming to the Hughes Library, how are some ways that students can use these new additions to their full potential now that the student services will be coming downstairs? Like, would that make the library more cohesive with other parts of the community that Monmouth College has?
I think it's really going to bring a lot of offices together to make it a one-stop shop for students. And I think that things will blend into each other nicely. They may start out with one office and they will be referred within the same building to another office. And then they may find that the student, in working with them, needs resources that we as the library can provide, or provide meeting space for tutoring, or working with somebody in the office. I think it will blend seamlessly, and that we'll really be able to collaborate on some great programs together.
Well, thank you so much, Sarah. Thank you for talking with me. I'll make sure that next time that I am in the reference library, I'll just make sure that I stop by. The Hughes Library seems like it's going to be a great place for students, a one-stop shop, as you said. So just for students that may be watching this, don't be afraid to just ask.
women's basketball team qualified for the Midwest Conference Tournament for the first time under head coach Kyle Wilson. We talked with him and fellow players to see what we can expect coming up this weekend.
The women's team turned heads this season, finishing second in the Midwest Conference with a 19-8 record, and they're fired up to be in the tournament.
It's super exciting. We worked so hard all season. This was the goal at the beginning of the year. Getting ranked 7th in the beginning was just fuel and motivation for us to get here, and we're here and we can't wait.
While it hasn't been easy, Coach Wilson is proud of the growth and development he's seen with this group the last several seasons.
I think the last couple of years we've been kind of figuring out who we are as individuals and who we are as a team and what we can be. And this year I think we've spent more time learning how to win. And you know, I think that's why we've have the record we have, is because we've learned how to win. And so it feels really, really good to see all our kids' hard work kind of, like you said, come to fruition.
The successful season, though, hasn't come without adversity, as the Scots had lost 3 of their last 4 before winning the regular season finale.
You're going to hit adversity sometime in the 30 games that you play in a season, and we had a dream start, so to speak, so we were going to hit those blocks at some point, and it's kind of good that we hit it a little bit early because now we know how to rally back from it.
For Coach Wilson, the emphasis is on the defensive side of the ball heading into tournament play.
We feel that if we can go up and disrupt what they do offensively, and really focus on the defensive end on Friday night, then it'll give us a chance to be successful.
Despite splitting their regular season series with Lake Forest, Monmouth feels confident they can advance to the championship match.
We got them here the first time, and it was a great game, and we definitely could have done better at a lot of points. And then over there we made a lot of mistakes, a lot of turnovers, and they were hitting shots. So they're going to have a really great game, and we're going to have a crappy game for it to be a bad day for us. So we're ready to go, and we think that we can win this game for sure.
The Scots bested Lake Forest in the semifinal before falling to Ripon 55-48 in the championship match. Becca Gauss was named first team all-conference, while Shane Smith and Carly Turnbull earned second team honors, which was the most for the Scots since 1998. This past weekend, Monmouth College hosted the 2019 Indoor Track and Field Conference Championships. Denzel Johnson has more on the story.
The Fighting Scots came out this past weekend to clinch another Midwest Conference championship. On Friday, shot put throwers Joe Crawl and Drew Thaxton would both exceed their personal record. Crawl threw a 15.36-meter throw, and Thaxton threw a 15.11-meter throw. Darius Williams would do an outstanding leap for the long jump, placing at 22 feet 6.5 inches, putting him in second place to his partner Seth at 22 feet and 9 inches. After day one, the Monmouth's men team continued to dominate as John Hintz would throw a conference record weight throw of 65 feet 4 inches, tying the Scots record and winning the crown. Joe Crawl would also place with an honorable effort throw of 64 feet and 3.25 inches. Stone Darrow would PR in the 60-meter dash and place first with a time of 6.95 seconds, while Lucas Sondergroff would PR as well with a time of 7.05 seconds and receive third. Tate Heupel would clinch the 800-meter title for the Scots, beating the runner-up by 0.02 of a second.
Championships are won on Saturday, so Friday is preparation, preliminary events. We had a lot of great performances today. It's hard to get up and compete 2 days in a row, so our kids showed a lot of mental toughness and good preparation that way, so we're really pleased as a coaching staff.
The men's track team and field would clinch their 20th consecutive indoor title, and the women's track team would place second in the conference, as St. Norbert would clinch their 5th consecutive indoor meet conference championship.
The Scots will send a select group to last chance qualifiers this Friday ahead of the national meet in Boston on March 8th and 9th. That's it for sports. Here's the rest of the scores from the week. That's it for this edition of MCTV. I'm Tate Heupel.
And I'm Denzel Johnson. You can also watch us on the web at monmouthcollege.edu/MCTV. See you next time.